That's the last speaker on the public comment card. Please have staff reports on that. Congratulations and kudos to the hard work of your staff, everyone involved in the process, and community stakeholders. But we did hear some statements and concerns, and instead of going item by item right now, perhaps colleagues will give time to digest what was said today, review what was submitted on the record, perhaps in 3 weeks revisit this item in committee and allow for review of the material as submitted today to make sure that we have a strong document that reflects the concerns of the community and addresses the needs of the city as well and the impacts that are being addressed by the constituents. Is that something that colleagues can support?
Sure, I just want to ensure that our staff did take notes of the comments that were raised so that you were able to either comment on those when we get back. There were some issues and questions that were raised by the public, so we want to ask you to spend some time with those and get back to us when we come back.
Can you verbalize what you were actually taking notes? Sure, just that was the question, of course.
Kevin Keller, City Planning. Yeah, just the Plum Committee's direction, we certainly can report back in 3 weeks on the comments received. We did take notes. We believe we have responses to most, if not all, the questions that have been raised, but certainly can respond at a future date as well. Responses as we can do.
And one issue that I did want to discuss today is the Conservancy raised the issue of asking for demolition permits through this process, but that's a separate process, right? This planting out. We can't do that through this process.
The general issue in terms of historic preservation, I think the planning department has worked really carefully with some of the really deep activists in Hollywood for historic preservation. The issues of policies, including setting transfer development rights, and the idea of linking our incentives to segregated standards have been incorporated in the plan. We do include a program in the community plan calling for a central Hollywood overlay as community plan implementation of a specific plan that could study such things as demolition controls. In East Hollywood, east of the 101, we have the Station Neighborhood Area Plan that does have a requirement that prior to demolition, a project has to have approved entitlement, so it does create a little bit of a delay process there. Something we can look at there. But the community plan itself on its own is really an element of the general plan, but not normally go into that level of detail. That would be really a citywide code issue. We certainly want to keep working with the Conservancy and the Hollywood Heritage community.
Yes, I also want the opportunity, there's a lot of new documents that were submitted today by the public record, so I'd like to review those as well. There were very specific examples that you earlier came up and said, for a particular property or residential property, was one of the few that didn't have an alley, but commercial property, so those are the things we'd like to look at. But I want to say overall this, that's what I did hear come up. People who were supportive or opposed all had at least a compliment or said nothing about staff. And that's rare. I heard no complaints at all from anybody in the community that said the staff did not reach out. While they may not have supported what was presented, everybody was very complimentary of the staff. And that says a lot because whether you support or oppose, whatever your position, that just says that the staff work tirelessly, day in and day out. A lot of evening meetings, weekend meetings, taking everything into consideration, and it says a lot. I wish we could say that about a lot of staff and a lot of other departments, and unfortunately we can't always do that. But we do have some staff that is phenomenal, over the top. And I think you heard that today. Particularly when you hear a controversial issue, or that people are upset, or they're opposed, or they have an opinion, they go out of their way to compliment staff to that degree. We all have to be complimented on that. I just want to say thank you for your efforts.
Thank you, sir. In terms of this, I have one question. There was an observation about having options to the EIR. How have we postured ourselves, given all the work that's been done on this particular problem? How are we addressing that?
Yes, Kevin Keller, City Planning, I can speak directly to that. I think a lot of other comments were raised as well about infrastructure, demographic projections. But in terms of the community plan does include alternatives that have been studied in terms of the EIR. I think one of the comments was, are there other alternatives that should have been considered initially in terms of that are in front of the community plan? In terms of, we did have a full environmental plan, we did do response to comments, and our additional comments we're receiving, which will continue to move through the council process to review those and perhaps add additional responses. As a general plan document, the level of alternatives often are more narrow as opposed to a physical project. This is a document, that speaks to a plan policy versus including an environmental project. This does not preclude or remove any further discretionary obligations in environmental analysis at the project level. So a lot of the large projects that are brought before the Planning Commission, the City Council, they would have their own detailed study. What I think we did here was, has a downzoning alternative been studied as well, in addition to the no project alternative, which would be doing essentially nothing. We also studied a proposed project, included a density SCAD alternative. We did include some, I know there's a lot of talk about demographics, we included a fact sheet in the back of the room just outlining, here's the population of the census in 2010, here's the projections for SCAD 2030, here's the estimate for 2005, just all the facts are out there. But in terms of the alternative, basically, and I will have to look into this more, basically the alternative of downzoning, something to look at, but does not accomplish the goals and objectives of the community, which is to provide for future development opportunities in a concentrated way. And again, the only thing I'll add to the record at this point is that all of these issues are projections and census data. It's a policy decision at the end of the day in terms of providing capacity for growth, where that growth goes. The plan itself does not generate the growth, it guides the growth of the curve. So although we can discuss where that best goes, we do receive information from the Southern California Association of Governments with projections. Those projections do vary over time. The current projection, as was stated, is somewhere around, my notes, 200. Our proposed plan has a projection as currently for the committee of 244,000 people approximately. The current population is at Hollywood of 2010, the census was just over 198,000. If that growth would occur, that's about an annual growth rate of about 1.05%. So it's not a huge growth rate, but it's not the growth rate we've seen in the last 5 years, obviously, in Hollywood against the plan that looks forward to 2030.
Well, it's good to hear that we did cover that issue, that we do have a response to that assertion that everybody is making one observation. In fact, with this body of work, we are addressing the requirements to the end. So that I appreciate. Any other questions or comments? Okay, well, congratulations. Well, at this point, which father have you ever been in the past 8 years? So, okay, I'll go that far back. Good job. Congratulations. Thank you. All right, so that being said, that we continue for 2 weeks, I believe the time will be April 17th. Correct. And that concludes the matter. This item, anybody here from public comment?